Hey guys, how's it going? It's Kyra here with another Exos Heroes video. And in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down everything you need to know about the new FC Annie that just got released. So be sure to stay until the end of the video because I'm going to be covering issue worth pulling for, what comp she's going to be used in, how good she is she can be meta changing, all that information coming up. Also, if you like content like this, please consider subscribing. I noticed that about 85% of you guys that watch this channel are not subscribed. So it would really mean a lot if you guys hit that subscribe button. It really helps with the channel. And with that, let's get into it. Okay, so if you haven't heard of what's happening with Annie here, is she was a character that was already into the game. What they're doing is they're not only buffing her, but then also giving a fake or chance increase banner at the exact same time. So you could have gotten her from the string of creation down here with Rudely. She was available there, and then now as you can see that she has the buff passive, but they're also for a week they're adding the fake or chance increase for her in a banner. And then let's go over specifically what they changed, which is it's just going to be this move here, which is Burning Soul. Grants one ally excluding self with the fastest speed, gain mana, gain mana as in 3 mana. Grants ally 300% increase in critical hit for 2 turns, and then grants ally damage immunity for 2 turns. So this is definitely targeted at the Ignite style passives that have been released recently, all the last 4 characters. That single target damage is really good against them. A big issue is that the big nukes that take a lot of mana. So this is going to be addressing a lot of those issues. Another thing too is a lot of those characters are going to be paired up with characters like Bathory for Tranquil. One of them counters, so like a Xeon counter. So the damage immunity is going to be really nice because it's going to you're going to be able to one-shot one and then or Tranquil proc them. Then if they try to retaliate, they won't be able to because of the damage immunity. So it's a really good way on offense, specifically going to be a good way to address these FC Xeons that are going around, and especially those solo team FC Xeons that have been really oppressive in Tag Team Arena. So I think it's really nice that they're adding a new way of being able to deal with that, because it's been really frustrating having to handle have just solo teams and stuff like that. I just don't think teams of one are good game design, and being able to have a game mechanic in the game that actually can beat it without just being a there's a lot of games like this that I played that are when they go back and forth when it comes to the power creep, they ended up just like, oh, here's a passive, and then the new character comes out, it's delete that passive. So I like this because there's going to be more application than just being able to beat these dragon characters with this passive. So I think it's a good way of implementing it. Also, I do like that they're adding it to a pre-existing character. So a lot of people are just getting a free boost. They're not having to pay money for it. I didn't like that they're just adding this banner out of nowhere. It's kind of unprecedented. I know this game's only been out for a few weeks, but having these multiple fake core increase things at the same time could be unexpected for people. So at least what they're doing, if they're going to do that, they're taking a character that was not that good. They're buffing them. Some people that have already pulled them get a nice bonus of getting a better character. Other people, have to pull them. And then lastly, it's also in the string too. So Rudely's an amazing character going for the string. I understand it. I'm not going to say that going for a string is a good value, but at least this string is getting to be a better value, at least, but that all strings are pretty bad value unless you get lucky. All right, the characters Annie's mainly going to be used with are going to be characters that are fast, hit hard, have a move that has a lot of mana. It's pretty straightforward. Which characters you're probably going to want to take with her is going to be like Baraka is going to be a really good choice because how fast he is. And then also let's take a look at his moves here. We got mainly going to be able to do this on the first turn, 3 mana move normally, but you're just going to have all that mana and then 525% damage off the rip. Cool thing about him too is just how fast he is. And then if we look at his stats, the big thing too is I wanted to check their base critical hit. The effect is going to, because it's 300% of their critical hit. So you're definitely going to get a way bigger advantage out of this move the more critical hit you get, which is going to take faded gear. But it's still going to be a really good combo here with Baraka because he has such high base crit. So other characters too that you can use with him would be, Jin would be another option. The reason why I was showing the critical hit too is because there's characters like, this is probably not a character you would pair, but this is known to be a damage dealer and has good attack and everything like that. But check this out. So the base critical hit of Brooke is 20, whereas all these other characters 120, stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. I know that's probably going to be a little niche, but I wanted to bring that up because there is characters that don't have good base critical hit. Another example would be Rachel, but he's slower than like Jin, slower than Baraka. And then also another thing too about these characters is going to be they're proccing the Tranquil, and then they're going to have, as long as you're not facing an Illum, you'll be able to proc it, and then they'll go in and finish them off potentially with their final hit, depending on the shield situation. If you still do enough damage through the shield, even though you're doing it off the start, they're still going to get one proc of the shield, so it should work out that way. I would be surprised if it doesn't. So I think those are going to be the two main synergies. Is going to be Jin and Baraka here, but there's a whole bunch of other potential options. Just fast character that hits hard. Karina here could probably be pretty good. Here, do you get enough mana? Gain 3 mana, 5 mana. I don't know if that's enough mana there. Maybe if you have a character that's boosting mana, you might be able to pull it off, but probably not. So you're going to want characters that have lower than that. Probably like 4 mana is going to be the tops, unless you have someone like a Rachel giving back row mana. So I wanted to look at a budget option too to pair with her in case you didn't have Baraka, in case you didn't have Jin. And the one I found was Nero. So I actually found two, but the first one I found was Nero. A lot of these characters, pretty much every legendary character I can find that's like an attack or a chaos character, is all like 4 mana or 5 mana moves. A lot of them are 5 mana, do AoE, or their A1s like do 3 mana, do only like 200%. Whereas with Nero, very similar kit, very similar stats to a Baraka, in the sense that, very high base attack, and then all the same things like very high critical hit, very high speed, and then has this move here, which is Dynamic Sword, 420% damage to one enemy for 3 mana, which is fantastic. Also has the final hit, so essentially just a budget Baraka. But the other option too would be Yao. Because at first you'll see, she has a move that does 360%, so it's less. You look at her stats, very similar in how much attack she has. She has the same like critical hit, all that stuff. So she's fine on damage. But the reason why 4 mana is okay with her, because she's a machine character, and a machine character gains mana when they have 80% or higher health. And you can see that in the battle guide. So those are going to be the two characters from the budget side that I found. I didn't find any on the rare side that I think will do enough. I wanted to find like a pretty high modifier. A lot of them are 5 mana characters. So if you do just so happen to have like a back row mana increase on a machine character, then you might be able to do it. Like, for example, Morris would be an option. He has a 700% modifier on a 5 mana move. So if you had a back row mana increase and he's machine, so you'd probably be able to do that. But, stretching it, those are your options for budget if you don't have the fated characters for this. I think those are going to be the main things to try. I'm really curious on how the actual matchups play out, because usually you always see Bathory, you usually always see Xeon. So, and then Illum has been getting significantly more popular. I think that could potentially cause an issue. I think it's going to be really good. You are taking out multiple characters for her. And then I kind of want to see how good she is on her own. So I think there's a little bit up in the air, but overall, I think specific where it's really going to shine is going to be Tag Team Arena, where the matchups are going to get, especially on that third team, you're going to be able to take a team that's significantly less stacked. And I think you're going to be able to punch up a lot on tag team, because you get to designate where your teams go. So that's going to be a lot of fun, actually being able to have an option against Xeons. Because right now what I do is I just take my Xeon and then match my Xeon with their Xeon. Whereas now with this, if I actually pull Annie, I'll be able to like take Annie and a Baraka and then a couple other good characters, and then trade up against their Xeon, and then I can take my good teams against other teams, and then maybe have an easier match that way. Now though, there might be some potential strategies there, and I think that's exciting to see. Okay, and so now I want to talk about, do I think she's worth pulling for? And I think yes. I think depending on your situation, especially more so, she's definitely, if you have a lot of these meta characters, if you have Bathory, if you have Xeon and all that stuff, and you're not really struggling in Arena, I don't think it's that necessary. If you have the Zest saved up and you already have that, great. If you don't have a lot of these really high meta characters, then absolutely, I think it's going to be a really good character to make sure you get. Worst case scenario, you don't need to get her now, because there is the string always available on the back burner. I think too, and then you may want to consider other characters too. It's just, if you have all this Zest saved up, it's kind of in a weird position, because I would say the big heavy hitters, maybe you missed out on it. Maybe you just started playing and you have all this Zest to work with. You missed out on Xeon, missed out on Anna, then absolutely take this character. But if you don't have any zest and you spend it on something else, it's kind of hard to say. If you're a decent spender, then absolutely, I think this is going to be really a character that's going to go a long way for Tag Team Arena. I think for a lot of potential challenges, like I think being able to give mana off the start like this is going to help potentially maybe next month's Labyrinth. I think it's going to go a lot further than just Arena challenges. I think it could be pretty nice for. Overall, I think this is mostly a very Arena specific character, but a very good character that potentially is worth pulling for. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for me in this video. If you have any more questions about the new banner, let me know down in the comments below, and you guys have a good one. Peace.